The thing is, we only think about weeds usually when they're big, right? But once they're big, then they already have roots and they already have solar panels, leaves, and they're much harder to kill, you know? So the idea is we're always trying to kill weeds when they're smaller, smaller, smaller. But the thing is, when a weed is a seed, you can't kill a weed seed, right? You have to wait until it sprouts and then you can kill it, but a weed seed, it doesn't matter. As soon as you put the seed in the ground, the clock is ticking because the weeds will start growing, right? Okay, and if you wait until your crop is up and the weeds are growing, now the weeds are big and it's harder to deal with, right? Okay, so here's our hole. The seeds go in the ground. The seeds are what, maybe like a ½ inch deep, something like that. So this is where this comes in, is we always want to be killing weeds when they're young before they're big, okay? So the carrot seed goes in the ground and you've got maybe 5 days before the carrots come up, okay? So at that time, the other weeds will be emerging. And so the idea is if we can come with this tool and kill the weeds that have come up before the carrot comes up, then hopefully, if we do it right, when the carrot comes up, we'll already have killed a lot of the weeds. After the crop is up, as long as the crop is better rooted with its roots than the weeds are, we can keep using this. And so if the carrot roots are maybe 3 inches long and the weed roots are maybe just a ½ inch long, we can come through, and you can get these on a rake, you can get them on a wheel hoe, you can get them on a 2-wheel tractor, you can get them on a 4-wheel, you know, you can get them however you want. But after the carrots are up, we can come over real light and pull out the weeds and leave the carrot, we hope. The magical space is right in the row. Like the weeds between the row you can kill with your multivator, they're not the biggest deal, right? But the weeds that are close to the row, and this is one tool that lets you get those weeds out. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you a lot of the shiny and new stuff, and I'll tell you the prices of it, and there's a tool catalog there if you wanna look at it. But just know you can find all of these used. So like this one's probably 80 years old. I got on Facebook Marketplace, I took it apart, I cleaned it up, 50 bucks. You know, the one over there, I'll show you, same thing, Facebook Marketplace, 50 bucks, cleaned it up, you know. And then you can find tractors that are 80 years old and fix them up for like 50 bucks. So just to say, like this one new, I think is like $2,700, but you can also find one for like $100. There's all sorts of different cultivators, but let me show you basically how it works. So you have the wheels in the front of the tractor, but then back here, you've got the rear wheels. So you can see how between the tractor wheels and these wheels, the tools are right in the middle, same thing, so that when you turn, the tools don't move all over. So that's kind of the first thing. I call it a tractor because it's like a tractor because you can switch the implements out really easy. So like, we'll do it over there, but you can just pull the pin and you put a new one in, just like a regular tractor. There's all sorts of different cultivators, and I'll show you some stuff, but really it's a hitch, and then the gauge wheels. And the gauge wheels, you can put them up or down to let the tools down into the soil, okay? So a big thing I try and do when I'm weeding is I try and have tools that can run shallow, like 2 inches deep. And the reason is that, there's a lot of reasons, but one reason is when it rains, like if you would have gotten your 3 inches of rain today, you couldn't run the tractor in the field, right? Because it would get all muddy. But a day later, probably the top inch or two would be dry. And if your tools were running too deep, you still couldn't go through the field because it would be all muddy. But if you can run shallow, you can get into the field sooner and maybe before it rains again. So anyway, I like tools that can run shallow. You see the sweeps like this, they're not like pitched at an angle, they're whoosh, and so they can cut real shallow in the soil. And then you can get them all different sizes, you know. So let's say maybe you have spinach that's really close together. Let's say you have cabbage that's further apart, you know, you can get all different sizes. So that's one thing is cutting the soil. And so we can do it with sweeps like this. We can do it with cutaway knives like this that we were using over there, and we'll look at them. But then you can also think about what you're trying to do. So usually when the crop is young, we're pulling soil away. And then a lot of times when the crop is older, we're hilling soil up. You know, we're trying to bury it. So if you've seen hilling discs, if these go this way, these are to throw up soil on the crop, you know, like potatoes or peppers, whatever you want, corn, you know, and it'll bury the weeds that are in the row. So usually we'll start off by pulling soil away, and then a few weeks later we'll hill up, and then that's the last one before it gets too big. So yeah, same thing. Here's the wheels here, and this one's going right over the row. You can see we already pull out some of the weeds, and these are the little duck feet we have on them. And then you can adjust. So same thing, it's just one size wrench. You can loosen these nuts, and then you can see how these pieces here go in and out. Okay. So then usually it's nice to start slow to learn it, but the faster you go, the more, the better job it does. So I'll start slow. So something like that. So you can see, you know, we're leaving about 5 inches that we're not getting, but the rest we're getting. You know, with the other one we had 18 that you were leaving open. So 18 to 5, that's a lot less. Perfect. Yeah. They buried all the weeds, yeah.